So welcome. The attendance register shows
Have you ever advertised above the Arctic Circle?
51 members present
Yeah,
out of 35. That is unbelievable. Thank you. So therefore, the quorum will continue because we're more than 51%. The minutes of the meeting will be read by Maureen. She did it last year, so Maureen, please.
Hello everybody.
hello.
Okay, so the minutes of the 2025 AGM reads as follows. There was a welcoming. The chairman welcomed all members at the AGM and thanked them for their contribution, the past year, and on behalf of the committee of the club. The attendance register was signed by members present, the proxies were given, and recorded of members not present. The quorum, the attendance register was verified, and the chairman declares that a quorum of members was present at the meeting. Minutes of the previous AGM. The minutes of the previous AGM was read by Maureen Fourie and accepted by members Martinez Odendaal and seconded by Stefan Fourie. Matters arising from the minutes of the previous AGM. There were no matters arising from the AGM in 2024. President's report. Maureen presented the financial report and the report was accepted by the members. The report made available to all members in attendance. Report attached to the minutes. The chairman's report. Arnold Lester read his report and overview of the year activities was summarized. He also thanked all members for their loyalty and support. There was a report attached and a special word of thanks was given to the committee for the hard work in the year. The committee worked very well as a team. Every committee meeting that was held before each club meeting was well attended and tasks at hand completed with a smile. The chairman thanked the committee members for the hard work and dedication throughout the year and for most of them that are prepared to serve another year. The committee members for 2024 were Arnold Lester as chairman, Rikus Barnard, vice chairman and meeting host, Maureen Fourie, secretary and treasurer, and Deirdre Schneckler as the PRO. Anthony Mullen was print coordinator and Ivan Sonikus was the general assistant. The general membership, 2024 had 33 paid-up members with an average monthly attendance of 20 plus 2 on Skype. Workshops and activities for 2023, there was a photo rally, we had a salon and we hosted service. New matters for consideration and general discussion, there were none. The member fees and PSSA fees for the year was member fees for 2022 was the main member 420 rand, additional member 300, pensioners 200 and scholars 170. That remained the same if I remember correctly. Election of the new committee. The following committee members stepped down and will not be available for re-election for 2025 years. Maureen Fourie as the secretary and Ivan Sonikus as the general assistant. The following committee members were nominated and elected during the AGM. Hayley Moore, secretary, Belinda Uckerman, PRO, Ryan Sim, workshops and events coordinator, and Fraser Price, general assistant. Duties and committee will be decided with the next committee meeting and presented to the club in March 2025. Then we reached the closure. The AGM for 2025 was concluded and closed by the chairman.
Thank you, Maureen. Next up is the chairman's report. Arnold will be doing that.
Okay, ja, netjes.
Right, good evening all. As ex-sitting chairman 2025, I was asked by the current acting chairman to present the reports for 2025 up to this point when I sit down. So as our outcoming chairperson, it's a pleasure to actually present you with the report for the year 2025. Membership and finances, during 25 we welcome new members. I think there's evidence of that here. We welcome quite a few new members at various levels, in which just wish all of you a rewarding journey with this EXOT family. We call it an EXOT family because it's always been like a family. Because this is where you have shared dreams and all those things. Your photographs, those are the dreams. Membership fees remain unchanged. So I think it's for the 5th year or the 4th year that it's remained unchanged. So that was actually good that we could keep it there as long as possible. Okay, we don't know how it's going to affect the new year going in. Things have changed in the meantime. That the new committee will decide. Club activities and participation, the standard we just entered throughout the year was consistent. And it was consistently strong. Okay, regardless of the judging panels.
Those raar.
Okay, sorry, for the online people, I believe you could not see me. So, there you go.
Graag.
Hello. All right, yeah. I was talking about that consistency of our images, and that was the December entries that we had. That was particularly good because I think out of December we could all how would I say, we can all agree that the image quality was of a high standard. And that was judged by Crew Fotografies of the MSN. The Crew judges judged and they gave us our best images for the year. And on that note, the best image for the year was chosen, and it was Mr. Fraser Price that had the winning image out of the lot at Crew. So well done for that. Now the set subject themes were very challenging. You know, challenging themes are always there. Sometimes it's something that you don't want to do, can't do, but you do them because it actually challenges you. And that's the idea of a set subject theme. It is there to challenge you and take you out of your comfort zone. So we had a few challenges, but they were all manageable and achievable because we had great results. With the revised structure, with the themes published in advance, so you have all the themes. And that was the first time we did it this way, we had all the themes for the whole year. And you had now 12 themes, or actually 11, because we only do 11 months ahead of time. And you could now go out, if you go on holiday in April, people were able to shoot the theme for November if they so wish to, because it may have fit into their schedule where they were on holiday. So that's why we presented it, and I think it worked quite well. One of the highlights was the introduction of short member-hosted Zoom workshops. I think it was a great idea for members to step in, to actually put themselves out there and try and help the other members by presenting a short 1.5 hour little workshop online. People sign in and the person shares their information or some knowledge or some kind of a Photoshop trick or anything like that. Just to help the rest of the members apply their magic their own way and improve their skills. So that turned out to be great, and we hope to build on that this year. And from my side, I plan to be a contributor to that as well. So we'll discuss that. Even in salons, membership was great. Salon attendance or salon participation is the right word. I think we had a nice increase in 2025 from members who participated in salons. I think the turnout was great. We had a whole bunch of COMs, a whole bunch of acceptances, quite a few medals. Testament to that, Fraser, Belinda, Marine, who else got medals? Did I miss anyone? Jeanette got medals, Annalene, any medals, but COMs definitely. Deirdre herself. Okay, so we have members with medals that came away with top honors at salons, so that's great. So we'd like to build on that. One thing that we did not do last year was our weekend away. That was the usual thing that as a club we go as a whole club and a group to a weekend destination somewhere. It was all planned, it was all finalized, it was not the fault of any person, but the event cancelled last minute due to unavailability because priority effects happened and they had to choose between staying in business or allowing us to go there for free. So, in natural sense, they wanted to stay in business. Competitions throughout the year, F-Stock entered the SERVs, Central East Rand Photographic Societies or something like that, if I remember it correctly. That's all the East Rand clubs. And we had our usual yearly SERVs entry. We chose 30 images, and the panel that was there that chose the 30 images for our club will remember that it wasn't an easy task choosing out of this the great images that we had. But I think we picked the right images and we got first place in the SERVs competition. So well done to the club and thanks to everyone that actually contributed towards that. Our photo rally, we usually have a photo rally. Our photo rally was again used attended Ricus planned the whole event, and we did that parallel to our end here in Braai that we had at Reef Bay Nature Reserve. The attendance at the Braai was stunning. It was great. Thanks to everyone that attended. And those that were there that actually did participate in the rally, I think we had a great turnout. Ricus will attest to that. And there's some great images that came out of the photo rally, and I think we will do that again. Now, also on that note, while we were doing the photo rally, we had the Braai, the end of year Braai, and I want to do a special thanks to one member, Frank, for all the hard work. Belinda, you too, between you and Frank for actually putting it all together. Frank bringing some of these workers to help them carry stuff and be there and help us make fires and all those things. Thanks again for doing that. I think it goes to show that we are really appreciative. Right, the committee and governance, I would like to thank the committee for all your hard work, the committee that served under me as a chairperson for the year, which I was the chairperson, Ricus, you were still the vice chair and digital coordinator, Anthony Mellon, venue coordinator and assistant, Belinda Yuckerman, you were treasury, secretarial and the website, Fraser Bryce, events coordinator, and then Deirdre Stenter, on the other side of the world as secretarial and the editor. Thank you very much. The club did face some difficulty. We had some, Maureen did read the minutes of the previous year. We did have other committee members that were part of the committee. We had some issues, differences of opinion, etc., which crept into the club environment and sort of spilled over and really caused serious disruptions. And it didn't feel, it felt like a volatile situation, but we managed to get out of that and we managed to resolve it with all the parties. Everyone left with happy faces and it's all settled. And out of that was a good thing that we could actually then update our club's constitution from a 2-page document to 40-something pages or something like that. All right, so we upped our constitution to make provision for in the event of something like that happening, then we cover it in terms of policies and procedures. So yes, out of every bad thing does come something good. Member achievements. During 2025, several members achieved very important distinctions. So myself, I received an FPSSA Honours. Anita, Maureen and Belinda, you all received an LPSSA Honours. Belinda also and Michelle received your DPSSA, and there were various Diamond 3, 1, 2 and 3 also that were received. Fraser, you were one of them. I know Jeanette was one. Annalene, that wasn't you. Who else received? If I miss your name, it's not yet. But anyway, well done to those that actually achieved those goals or benchmarks. Just keep on going. I mean, I'm not stopping at the F, I'm starting again at the L, trying to get a few more. Why not? Let's hope they do that. All right then. So other matters, the logo for the club we updated. We had it on the poll. Everyone were happy with the new logo. I think it made quite a difference in the branding of the club, and it fits in much better with the website and all the documentation. It just looks so much better. Thank you, Belinda, for all your hard work in doing that. The new website was launched. Again, same person, Belinda. I think it looks amazing. It works well. It presents well. I can't say much more. I mean, I've seen other websites. Stunning work. Thank you. A little glitch that also happened was we had a salon date for ourselves to host the salon in November, but it was taken away from F-Stop due to not competent or not compliant. Because there are certain rules in applying for a salon, you have to do certain things at a specific time, because you have a checklist that you work according to, and I missed one or two of those deadlines as the salon director, and we missed our spot to do the salon. But we stand it over again and we reapply for a salon, so hopefully we will do another salon in the next Impala cycle. So no harm done, but we may have lost a few rand there if we did host it. So yes, so I trust the year ahead will be just as strong, if not stronger, because as I hand over now to the new committee that's going to be voted in, I believe, after this, there will be a new committee voted in, but in the interim while I stepped down, Linda was the acting chairperson, while Rita stepped down as the vice chair, Fraser stepped in as the acting vice chair. So hopefully with the new committee being elected, you can now sort of make that final and then decide on the final structure of the new committee and then take it from there. So thank you and create more images.
Thank you. Thank you, Arnold. I skip the step. I'm sorry, this is my first AG, so I skip the step. Okay. Can we please go back to the minutes? We need to approve the minutes. So can we please have hands to say yea or nay? So can we note that Arnold?
Second.
Anthony and Fraser?
I just need to.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being for that. Next is the treasurer report. So we started off with Maureen being the treasurer, and then I took over from her. I have changed the system that we work on from Excel to Pascal. We are now using it properly and it goes into the right direction. So this is the cash flow statement for the year. This is it's obviously in the months things. So the next screen I'm going to show you just a summary of the things, unless you want to go back. If you want to go back, stop me now. Okay. Next slide, please. This is the summary. Our opening balance was 24,364.33 cents. The income, 28,868.67, made up from member fees income, salon judging, the net bank investment paid in. This is a major role that I need to explain to you a little bit just after this. Interest received. The reason why we received interest was from the net bank account. I think there was 14 rand or something. And then when Maureen closed the Capitec account, it went into my savings account for a month until we opened the proper account that we're using now. And then that got interest. So that's where the interest comes from. And then donations, Jeanette pays 150 rand for her husband to join her here every month because she utilizes coffee and so on. So that's a donation. Then expenses, security, which is the security guard, we pay him 150 rand a month. Then the judge vouchers, we give them money for their transport and their time that they're here. The church fees for the year is 3,400. PSSA affiliation fees, in other words, so we can participate as a club in the PSSA events. That's what that costs, 580 rand a month. Bank fees was 1,133. We paid Israeli airtime that one night we ran out of, or there was load shedding or something.
The Wi-Fi didn't work.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi didn't work. So she gave her phone so we could put it online and we just refunded. Certificates for the year end, 469. The LAPA cost was 1,973. Year end function catering, after everybody paid in and what the club for the food extra, we paid in extra was 2,195. The trophies that Frank made for Deirdre, Rickers and Arnold was that, and then he also included the charcoal and the wood for the guy in that invoice. And the workshop for Martin Barber, there's still 2 people that hasn't paid for February, so that's what that is. And then the web hosting 1,230. As we go on, you'll see the website cost is actually more than that, but because I've taken out of my money to pay judges and the security guard, we paid it off one another, so that was the balance. Alright, next slide. This is the problem that we have with membership fees not changing from 2022. We are paying currently 420, 300, 200, and 170. We have 2 options, unless we want to go technical, like Lucas wants to go, per percentage. But our option 1 is to increase it to 450, 350, 250, and 170. That's option 1. Option 2 is 475, 375, 275, and 175, just to make it all equal. The monthly payment, you can make monthly payments. If you please just contact me, you can make monthly payments. So next week you'll see what a monthly payment would be for that thing. And just to show you, let's go to the next one, please. This is what a bread costs. Compare that to fees and compare it to what you get here. That's once a month. Compare that to what you get. For a judge to sit here with expertise and judge your photos, and you improve from that. The monthly meeting, of the monthly workshops that you get for free. All those things that you just get for free. That's less than a bread. So I'm asking you guys to think about which option would be better. We can vote on it if you like. You can leave it for another month, but it will be changing as from March. If you haven't paid your fees yet and you want a discount, pay it now.
Hy is net besig om te jou.
Right. Wat van die snaaksoeke? Okay. Let me go to the next slide before I answer that question. Alright, we're back at the cash. This is the one you've just seen that we've just empty on the left hand side. Okay? On the right hand side, if we take out the net bank investment, now the net bank investment was like, we didn't have the search, we didn't have the salon, and I don't understand exactly where this money was and why it wasn't with us, but anyway, it came into our bank. It is our money, but it came into our bank. It should have been there long ago, but it's not. Now it's there. This is what happened this year. So, does this thing work? No, it's not working. Okay. If we take out the investment that we shouldn't have got now, we should have had it long ago, we might have lost 4,700 rand this year. There we go. All right, so the net bank investment I've taken out there, you can see. So the income would be 12,000 without the net bank investment. The expenses were 17 and we made a loss of 4,700. Next page, please. The forecast for next year, if we stay on the normal fees, this is what we will get. 11,180 rand from ordinary members, there's 16 of us. Additional members, 5, pensioners, 14. That's 11,000. Operating expenses, security, judges, church fees, PSSA, bank fees, web hosting, web domain, renewal and certificates. That's just what we normally would do. It's not anything else. We haven't had a year-end function, we haven't had anything. Right. So we had a loss of 880 rand. If I use option 1, 450 rand right through the bank, we start making money. Well, not money, 380 odd rand is the profit we make. That's why we have to put out our fees. We don't have a choice. Do we all understand? Right, that's enough of money. Let's go to the next stage.
Next. Okay. Martinez has got a question.
Yes.
What is required to balance the budget for the year? But I think you've answered it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, please open.
Okay.
Manuel Martinez has a question. He wants to know what is taking to balance, which I just answered.
Om die jaar te die AGM te doen van jy opgetreden.
Can we please vote on the option 1 or 2? Let's go for option 1. Do we all understand why? We get that we are running at a loss. And I know we're not a profit-making organization, but we do have things that we need to do.
We don't have an overdraft. If we don't have money.
Yeah, we don't have any other money.
If you make the same calculation in option 2 as well,
Yes.
and does it come out?
I didn't know.
Is it?
Yeah, but obviously you're going to make a little bit more profit. So we might have a year-end function now.
Okay, but in the end, it should cover all our expenses.
It should cover the basic expenses for running the clubhouse and all that.
Did that include both option 1 and option 2?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So all in favor of option 1?
All in favor of option 1, put your hands up. I have 2, 3, 4, 5. Option 2, majority vote, option 2. Thank you very much.
Martinez say yes, and please use events to generate income. Okay, so option 2 is majority.
All right, so just to, Maureen goes with 2 slides up. There you see us, I put in, I put in salon income. Okay. We normally get around 35,000 rand income from a salon, roundabout. 35, depending on how many people enter it. Then there's an expense of approximately 15 to 20,000 rand costs. So we're sitting with obviously with a profit of 10,000. So the projection next year, I didn't put it in because I needed to show you, if we didn't have a salon, what's going to happen? This year we are having a salon. I'm making dead sure we're having a salon. So we can have money to have a year in function and have all those things. I love my future. So just to say, Martina says we need to have events to generate income. I get that. This is one of them. Salons are one of them. Right, so we're going to get quite a boost, like we did happily with the net banking, but that had nothing to do with generating income. It was there, it was just transferred. Yeah. So thank you very much for reading on this matter. Right. Finish with the finance, go away.
Can we dance, don't we? wat hulle ook gesien.
Constitution and addendum approvals. We have sent the constitution, I'm not going to read a 40-page thing right now. Are we all in agreements with this? Can I have hands for that, please? All happy? Right. And that is approved. Next page. Committee 2026. This is the interesting thing. Okay, so what we have is, Maureen, would you please go to the next slide?
Yes.
Right. We have had the nominations form on the website for you people to fill in, to say who you want, where you want them. I've had 15 forms filled in out of 35 members, which is, I'm gonna, anyway. So what happened is we took all the nominations, put them in names, set the categories and said, right, I'm going to make it a bit easier for myself to read. So for instance, on chair, I had 15 out of 15 votes. Vice chair, Fraser got 13 out of 15 votes. Right? With the other being one vote and also being another vote for vice chair. I'm not going to read through this whole list, but that's how we worked it out. I'm going to continue with a little one. Treasurer one still, 9 votes out of 12. Elsa is, got 1 vote. Maureen got 1 vote. Ron got 1 vote. Secretary Deirdre, 14 out of 14, with Elsa 2 votes and Natasha 2 votes. And okay, so as I said, I'm not going to read through the whole thing. It was, excuse me. It was worked out legitimately on the 15 people that nominated. Okay. So this is what the summary is. Chair myself, Vice Chair Fraser, Treasurer myself, and then we said assistants. The assistants are not going to sit on the committee. They're not going to be in the meetings unless we ask them to, but otherwise they're not there. It is for the day that I am in the Kruger Park with my husband, because we're having an anniversary or something, and I'm not here. Fraser's going to stand in. Maureen's going to stand in, or whoever's going to stand. That's what the assistants are for. Okay. Secretary, Treasurer would be Secretary Deirdre. Projection is Maureen. We have asked Arnold if he could be assistant, but I would like somebody else to also learn, if not all of the committee members, to learn how this machine works. So anybody can stand in case Maureen is in the Kruger Park for it.
Yes, please.
Right, so I don't want Arnold specifically stepped down for a reason. He has a business to run. So he might not be able to be here, so committee members are going to stand in and learn how this thing works. I did it today, I learned, and now I know how. So we all can. Newsletter editor, Natasha, you're going to be assistant. Photovolt administrator, Deirdre, Maureen's going to be assistant. And specifically in that thing, Photovolt is 2 sections. One for what runs on this machine tonight, and the other one for admin. So Deirdre will be running the admin, Maureen will be running the projection side. Social media coordinator would be Deirdre, and myself, I will stand in for, unless Natasha wants to help with that. Outings and event coordinators, Fraser Price, and Natasha Faber would be his assistant. Educational workshop, Fraser and Maureen would be the assistant lead. And then welcome officer would be Anthony and Elsa. So I know we need to vote this in as a committee. I don't see why the members won't be involved with this. So that's what I'm asking. Can we accept this, or can we get votes for this, or we
I
happy with
need
this?
one to accept it to a second to second.
Is online happy with this?
Okay, so majority accept. Deidre, yes. Alan het 'n handjie op.
While we're waiting for online to give a hands up, if any of you want to help, please. We always need help. So if you want to be involved in something there, just put your hand up, please. We're not excluding anybody, but we need help. So whatever's on assistance side is open to anyone. I would appreciate if there's any, like Stefan, for example, is going to set up the stable for next month. Very nice.
Okay, most online has responded.
Okay, so that is then accepted. This is your new committee for 2020. Alright, that's all good.
And Martinez would like to nominate Rikus Barnard as a normal member.
Because no, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Because you're still going to do the photo run at the end of the year. It's your job.
Let's go. I can also have other objectives.
Alright, then on general and closing, that question. Okay, I have one thing on general. We have a problem with the PSSA that on Photo Vault, F-stock shows as the Afrikaans and the English version. So I had a meeting with the website person from PSSA. I asked them to please change, because what we do is there's a listing on their website for all the clubs, and I picked up there, it says Afrikaans version F-stock. And I asked if she could just change it. What she's done is she's gone to Johan van der Walt and Simon Fletcher. Melanie, sorry. She went to them and said there's a problem, we need to change this. So Johan van der Walt said he's going to fix Photo Vault side so that there is no option, there's only one option. The problem that we have currently is that there's two on the Impala log. You will see we stand at number 40 and we also stand at number 49. Look who's below us at 40. You know where we will be if we just combine them. Right, so Simon Fletcher is working on this. He said he's going to only do it after the last salon's results, and as they update the Photo Vault, the Impala log, they will fix this. They will combine them and we will be way above the number.
It's two different scoring systems.
It's two different clubs, but it's actually one.
So is it a just 50% something?
Yes.
How much more should I do?
Exactly. That's what I want.
Question online. Why do you want to do away with Afrikaans name as part of the history?
Because of the confusion it's creating on Impala.
But then as you decides then go under the Afrikaans name.
You won't be able to anymore. It happens when you do a salon, you have a choice. And I think the Afrikaans version is first online. Yeah, it's you that enter that creates this. But it's because there's two names. I want one. Okay, so we're working on that to get one name now. And then we will be way above that. Because we can't win a service and this is our marks. It doesn't make any sense. And then somehow my name is also missing on F-stock. So we get Sanford. Mrs. Sanford. So unfortunately our constitution says I have to be, my main club has to be without check. So I asked them to change it, but their change goes back to Sanford now. But Sanford is my second club. Okay, so that is my general. Is there any other general that anybody wanted to mention? Say, anything? Feel happy. Hey, F-stock.
F-stock.
There we go. All right, we are done. Next meeting. That's a closure for the general meeting. February meeting. Now the fun starts. Welcome new members. Teresa Janssen van Buren. Can you stand up for us, please? And Teresa, very, very welcome. Tilman, de Villiers, very, very welcome. Tilman has given us a panel. Yes, he's a very good photographer. We were fighting whether it's going to be 5-star, 4-star, or whatever. And we decided for search purposes we could bring it 3-star for junior so we can run this year. And he's happy with it. The fire. Ja, so van. Mooi gedaan. Hij is van Hokkels weg. Hij en Ellen. Right. Birthdays. Maureen, happy birthday for the 7th. Frank is on the 22nd, and then Ron is on the 27th. Congratulations. Yeah, go on the step. Sorry, Ron. Okay, advancements. Congratulations to Alan Watts from 2-star to 3-star. Judge evaluation. Remember last time I asked you guys to please enter the form online for the judge if you wanted to. I've received 7 forms. The questions that we asked, and Mariana now giving us let open it was. We asked, do you think the judge was too lenient or too strict? It was, the judge was Branch Venter, and it was Kolosna. So everybody said he was fair. Did you think the judge's feedback was convincing and substantiated? Good, very good, good, very good. Did the judge give constructive feedback? Fair, very good, good, excellent. Did the judge speak clearly, audibly, and fluently? Good, very good, excellent. Was the judge consistent in their awards and feedback? Fair, very good, good, and excellent. What was the overall rating of the judge? Very good, excellent, good, excellent. Do you recommend this judge again? Yes, no, yes, 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 yes. Would you like to leave a comment? Yes or no? Yes, so summed it. I enjoyed his judging. He was strict with his scoring with some images. His commentary was informative and one could learn a lot from if one listened. And certainly someone I would aspire to do in terms of aligning my own judging skills with professional, skills with professional to the point and insightful. The presentation, hello. Very knowledgeable and consistent in scoring, could hear every word. That was the comments. So thank you for the people who did do this. Appreciate it very much. Right, now we have some fun. We have a new... Vera wants to put in a new challenge. I'm going to explain the challenge just after the video. So just have a look at this, please.
Oh my goodness. What am I doing? Oh, dat is hierdie ene.
Ja. Dis donker.
Snakkie. Miskien sal jy dit net pas die... Sorry julle. Sorry. This is technically disadvantage.
Did everybody see that? I'm going to explain it now.
Ja, ek gaan hom weer speel terwyl jy praat.
Nee, ek weet wat sy sê.
O.
Nee, nie doen. Dit is...
O. Sorry. Net kan my muis kry.
We will put that thing on the web so you can actually see it properly. But you're a little bit technically disadvantaged. Still learning. Alright, so the editing challenge works as follows. How? One image to be provided by a club member. You edit the image any way you like. The rules are, you may edit the image in a way of your choice. AI generated content is not allowed. If you add elements, they must be your own work. Stock images on third-party assets are not allowed. Any editing software may be used. The judging, what will happen is we will have another slot on Photovault where you will enter this picture that you've edited. And then on Club Night, the judge will judge that thing, that image, whatever image it is. Okay, so that's how it's going to work. The important part, the original image remains the property of the photographer, only the edit is yours. Edited images may be shared on social media only for personal, non-commercial purposes. When sharing, credits must be given to the original photographer and the editing challenge. The image may not be sold, licensed, entered into competitions, or used commercially.
You understand correctly, a club member who editors will submit a role.
Yes, so the first photo is going to be given by Fraser. So what he's going to do is he's going to edit the photo. So and the reason why he's doing it first is his presentation that he's going to do for you on the, can't remember the date, 26 online, how to edit portraits. He will, I don't know if he's going to use the same photo. Yeah, okay, it's going to be the same photos. He's going to show you how he edits it. And then it's up to you to edit it after that. Okay, so you're going to have training on how to do this. And then as every month, the winner for that month will supply the next picture for the next month. And so it will continue. Yeah, every person that enters needs to actually keep track of how they edit their things. Because if you win, you're going to have to explain how you did it. Yeah.
So it's not paid for.
Yes, yes.
You train it.
Yes, no, basically paid for it, yeah. Right. So that's going to be the next thing we're going to do. Right, then we will probably open it after Fraser's, well, Fraser will be doing the first one and then it's open for next month. Right, next. Salon results. First, I just want to ask, if whoever gets salon results, please upload it to Photovault. It is there for every single salon. You need to put up your things. We need it for the website and we need it for the magazine. Unless you don't want to see your things published, but please put it up. Alright. So, the 7 Brandpunt Photo Club Salon closed on the 10th of January. Arnold Bester, 3 palms and 2 acceptances, total 5. Congratulations. Alan Bryce, 3 acceptances. Fraser Bryce, 4 acceptances. Maureen, 1 palm, 5 acceptances, total 6. Well done. Michelle Rodemeyer, 4 acceptances. Deirdre, 2. Jeanette, 2. Linda Stegman, 1. And there's a reason why this is stopped. It's her first ever com in a salon. Okay. Me, whatever, and then Annalene, 3.
Me, whatever.
Okay, me, no, whatever.
Since she doesn't want to say it. For the Brandpunt Salon, Belinda received 1 CON and 8 acceptances, totaling it in 9.
Thank you very much. Okay, next. Next salons, Alpha, 21st of February, Open Colour, Open Lono, Nature No Birds in Colour, Nature Birds Only Colour, Scapes Colour, Photojournalism and Sport Colour. 7th of March, the 14th National AFO Salon. Open color, open mono, nature, no birds, color, nature, birds, only colorscapes, and photojournalism and sport. So those are the same. I hope they're the same. Don't trust me on this, I might have copied and pasted, I'm sorry. But the bottom one is very important. 13th of March is 29th PSSA up and coming. 1 to 3 star only. If you enter as a 4 or 5 star, they will disqualify your images. It's not counting for nothing, so don't even bother. This is for 1 to 3 star. 2-1,
Free.
it is for you.
And it's free.
And it's free, yeah, it doesn't cost anything. So I would love you to please enter the juniors into this. So it's open color, open mono, and nature. Exactly what.
You do.
Tuma it is here. Right, next is our workshops for this month. Martin Barber Photoshop workshop. The next one is on the 22nd of February. We have 2 outstanding payments. Please, will you pay? Because the club is taking that knock at this point. So if you would please pay. And then February workshop, 26th of February, is Fraser explaining to you portrait editing.
Please record it.
And then March workshop will be on the 15th of March at the venue Photo Factory in Boxburg. We will give you more information about that, and during the break there's going to be a video play on what's going to happen or what you can see on that day. Photos Fraser has taken about the venue. And what's his name again? Warren. Warren said he's going to open the gates for us at 7 in the morning until 7 at night. I don't know if we all want to be there that night, but I just want to say something on these things.
Okay, so the February workshop, that workshop I will be doing, you will be familiar with the,
Now we can see all your beauty.
you will be familiar with the, one of the portraits that you're going to edit. I think what we're going to actually do is we're going to release the portrait first. We will send you a link out on the WhatsApp so that everybody's got access to the portrait, so that you will be able to do your own editing. Before I do this workshop there's no point in everybody waiting for me to do my edits and copy what I do. I want to see everybody's own style in this portrait. I said that to you the other day, it doesn't help we all copy what I do. You can see how I do it, you can use that in other ones, but right now I want to see your style. That's what's important to us at the moment. With regards, that will then lead us up to the workshop in March. So, I've got a little bit of news about this one. It's turned out really well. I think we've got 24 photographers on file at the moment that are going to be there. Thank you so much for the support. I'm really excited. The day is going to be open from 7 in the morning till 7 at night. Then, I need to do this properly so I don't make a mistake, because I didn't personally tell you this for the last couple of weeks. So we have Chantal Carpino, which was the woman I photographed last month with the cancer. She will be there in her weight. She's coming. She is the editor, or was the editor of the PPNC magazine, that popular pageantry magazine in Victoria. She's also arranged for us, she's bringing models with her as well. They're not here, these are top end models that are coming. I'm not sure exactly how many. I think there's 4 or 5 now that have confirmed. One of them has his own modeling agency, he's quite high up in the South African modeling industry. He will be there on that day as well. So, rough estimate, one of 5 or 6 from there. Then I have Mr. South Africa, runner-up. He will be there on the day, he wants his photograph taken. And then I have Miss Global, South Africa. She will be there on the day. So will the First Princess. So Chanel will be there, Bruno will be there, and then Val-Marie Foster will be there. She was one of the top 5. So they will definitely be there on the day. And then the one that nobody knows about that I found out this morning is I got contacted by the designer in Johannesburg this morning through the Mr. and Miss Global directorship. have contacted me to find out if it's BMA sign, South African designer wants to use models on the day to display some of his designs that he's created. And your photographs will then be used to advertise those outfits for him, and obviously you'll get the credit. So I think it's going to be an exceptional day. So that's what I'm going to say. So I look forward to it.
Thank you.
And 7 o'clock at night, it's a Thursday.
Thanks, Rosa. I just want to mention, this is only for F-stop members.
Yes, please.
This day. It's not open to any other club.
I've had people phone me to try to get in. The people have tried to phone me, there's been photographers that know the models that have tried to come in. This is headstock only and family members. This is your day.
Thank you, Fraser.
I can't hear, sorry. Model release forms will be available.
Yeah, model release forms will be available.
And we've got a young, there's not a photograph here. They sent me a photograph of this, they asked me if it was her. She's coming with a model, she's 10 years old, I've never seen anybody like it. She's absolutely gorgeous, there's a 10-year-old. She's a professional model from Victoria as well, so there will be 1 or 2 younger models as well on the day. What I'm thinking about, sorry, I had a thought this afternoon, sorry, I talk too much. What I'm thinking about doing is, I'm going to get Natasha, she's just finding out now, she's going to create a WhatsApp account for us. I'm going to put in a prescription at the beginning, then I'm going to add everybody on the WhatsApp. I'm going to get the models onto the WhatsApp, and then that way what I'm going to ask them to do is they contact us to let us know this is what I will be wearing on the day. They will have access to the album of the venue for those that haven't been there before. They'll be able to go into that album, take a look at around the venue. I took 60, 70 photographs. It's all in an album online that they can go in and view. They can choose what they want to wear for the day, what they need for the day. So I'm going to get them to go in there, choose the outfits, get the things that they want to do, and then come online to the WhatsApp group and let everybody know what their ideas are, give us their ideas, and then they can coordinate with the photographers so that we're more prepared on the day. They might have chosen photographers already. If it's something that you're interested in, then jump and say, look, I'll do those photographs for you on the day, and then they can book with you. So on the day, everybody's organized. Otherwise, it's just a free-for-all. And that was just an idea I came up with today.
And maybe we can also bring our own props with the model that
You can bring your own props. My idea is here. Is that we are after the photographs. My idea is they must bring their props. What they want, we're going to help them. So the models will come to us and say, I need this, and I need this, and then we will provide it for them. Okay, and it's there for enjoyment. There's no seriousness to it. If there is certain aspects, for example, for the designers and everything, we can appoint people there to go look at them. And what I say to you is, before that happens, I'm going to try to get those people online to give you an idea of who you're dealing with, what it is they're after, and then you can decide if you can assist them or not. And I've got specific things that I like to do. Everybody else is different. So that way we can all coordinate with one another and then set up meetings on the day. Another thing, the tuck shop will be available on the day. And we're trying to organize something as well. Good visuals. I knew that.
Wat added
That's
to
it.
Thank you very much.
ons 'n bietjie terug.
Thanks, Rosa. Just before I go to this, which is going to our judge tonight, you all know about Pulsar's library. Very professional journalistic. For those who's looking online, she's got stickers in the front, she stamps the book, and it's too fancy.
and just for a charge penalties if you.
Yeah, you're going to pay penalties. You've got this book for a month if you take it. On the website, there's a link as well. Under the link, there's a thing that says library. All these books are listed there. And what they say about the book, you know, what's inside the book and all that kind of stuff. So, you can go look there. There's also a presentation she's made to see about what the books are. The thing that showed last month during break, that's on there. But every single book is there and what the book is about. So go look there and support also. And if you have books that you'd like to donate or borrow or whatever to the library, you're more than welcome to. Speak there also about that. Right, then we've got one more thing here. Q1, our new member, has given me, looks like a sticker of sorts. It says shortcuts for Lightroom, for Mac, Apple. So if anybody, there's a 7 here. I'm too stupid to use an Apple, so it's not for me. But if anybody is interested, I have 7 of these things that he's given us. Alright, our February club meeting theme is shallow depth of field, keeping one part of the photo sharp and the rest soft and blurry.
Only funny.
There we go. March club meeting theme, capture a song title, capture the title from a song. You're not photographing the song, you're photographing the feeling of the title. Like for instance, Painted Black, what you shoot, darkness, mood, intensity. Visual clues, deep black, strong contrast, minimal detail. Here's just an example of Painted Black. Right, so just to give you an idea. If you need more advice on that, you're welcome to contact me or Deirdre or Maureen or somebody in the committee if you're unsure. Okay, but it's a song title. As long as we can understand, what did we have last was poems, pushing daisies and
Yeah.
that type of idea,
Idioms.
but it's just the songs this time. Okay. That brings us to our judge tonight, Mariana Preda. It's a real pleasure to welcome our judge for tonight, Mariana. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about her. Mariana is truly a child of Africa. She has a deep love for outdoors and for being immersed in nature. And that connection shows beautifully in her work. She is an avid wildlife photographer who is dedicated to capturing the true essence of her subjects. She doesn't mind waiting patiently for that decisive moment that turns a photograph into something special. For Mariana, every image is an opportunity to create a unique work of art. Academically, she holds a BSc in chemistry and computer science, as well as an interior decorating diploma, a wonderful combination of analytical thinking and creative expression. In photography, Mariana has achieved her LPSSA, GPSSA, and AFIAP distinctions. She has also completed the National Judge Accreditation Program, which reflects her commitment not only to creating strong work, but to evaluating it with fairness and insight. She currently serves as chairman for Sanctum Photographic Society, which she continues to contribute to the growth and development of fellow photographers. Mariana, thank you for being with us tonight. We really appreciate you giving your time and expertise to our club, and we look forward to your comments and comments. Please join me in welcoming Mariana. Right, that's the end of me. Mariana, on that note, I just want to give you a small token of appreciation. Thank you.
Correct, can we just go through the scoring again? What's the scoring again?
So, 15, 14, and 13 are COA, 12, 11, and 10 gold, 9 and 8 is silver, and below that's bronze, which we hope you don't know how to score.
Okay, I don't know that now.
Yes. And then just before we start, you will notice on the bottom of the screen, round about there where I'm circling, we do have a mark on the which comes from the projector, so it's not necessarily a fault in the image.
This is not on. No, I'm not getting a lot.
Very noisy, though.
Okay, good evening everyone. Before we start, I would just like to bring your attention to two salons that's coming up. The one is the Sandton Salon on the 9th of May, and it's got a very specific category on proudly South Africa. So maybe you want to start thinking about that and what you would like to enter for that. And then we're busy currently on the Honorary Rangers Sandpark Salon. Now, the brochure is not out yet. We're busy still finalizing judges, but that will most probably be the last salon for the year. So that will most probably be the second weekend of June. So please make sure that you start taking images that you can participate in both of them, all right?
Okay, we will start with the theme. This one is obviously No Star Baby. You saw the theme is Shallow Depths of Field, and
Okay.
so this one is, you can maybe just hold your microphone up straight. This one's called Shallow Depths. Would you like to score first and then up? That's a silver, 9.
Just from this. I think with the theme, you want at least something in sharp and make sure that that's there. If I have a look at this photo, I'm not really seeing any other flowers or the flower being sharp. And it doesn't mean that everything has to be, but at least something should be in focus. So unfortunately, I'm not seeing anything in focus on this one, so I don't think that this is good.
Can everybody hear our judge? Thank you. Score away. Another goal for Louis.
Louis, this is a beautiful example of shallow depth of field. I love the colors, the blues, the cold blues on the one side with the browns and the oranges. The only little improvement I would make is I would actually cut off a little bit on the right-hand side so that it's not so centered focus, but if you actually move it a little bit to that side, I almost probably cut it off. If you just see I can show here, I will almost probably cut it off up there. Just so that you can get much more focus on that diagonal line. But well done, very nice. Cheers.
Okay, because it's showing the banner on top, I'm going to let you comment first and then calculate.
Otherwise, we can just move it to this one.
Yes, I was checking how much up straight they wouldn't feedback.
I think this is a very original photo with the chess pieces. It's actually very nice that this is not a wooden chess pieces, so it works very well. You have got the king in focus with all the others out of focus. So I believe that works very well. I must admit, because the king is not 100% in center, I would actually move it either to a third to the right or the left. And I think both of them will work. Okay, but well done. Very good example.
12 gold for Natasha. Check my muscles.
This is very nice example of a very friendly, it's one of those feel-good photos that you have with a big smile, the happy colors with the yellows and the greens that work very well. Unfortunately, the little boy's face is not 100% in focus, and it feels as though the focus is more here on his shirt and on that beautiful muscle of his. I would have liked to have seen his face in focus, but I think you've actually managed to keep the little boy versus the background nicely out of focus, so I've met that criteria.
So 10 gold for Andre. Timing is everything.
This is a beautiful example of shallow depth of field. If we have a look at the dragonfly, that dragonfly is 100% in focus. It's nice to see the top wings as well as the front body and the legs and the hair, all of that. It's very clear. I must admit the bright white in the background, I found a little bit disturbing. I remember your brain and your eyes immediately go to the brightest part of the photo. So you go to the face and then immediately it jumps to the right and left. So I would just tune that down a little bit and make it a little bit grayer and make sure that you take some of the luminosity down.
So 13, COM for Andre, work up. LM6.
I think here with the shallow depth of field, the model is in focus with a very nice blurry background. The face looks a little bit over-processed on the skin, and I must admit, being a lady, I don't like over-processed of skin, so I feel that that needs to be turned down just a little bit. And the fact that her hands and the branch that she's leaning against is so bright actually detracts from this really beautiful girl.
So 10 gold for Louis Melton. Mr. Z in pink.
I had a look at the zebra with the pom-poms. It's a nice color combination. It stands out nicely. There's definitely a differentiation between the zebra versus the background. Background, however, feels a little bit noisy, and I think that distracts off your photo. Actually clearing that up a little bit, or actually going on a mono on this, I think would work a lot better.
The 10 gold for Stefan. Pink Protea.
This is a beautiful example of your theme subject. The hair on that Protea is so nice and sharp. I love the composition, the color scheme, everything works really well. And the way that you focus and just got the little hair there at the top in focus and the hair in the middle, really, for me, this is an excellent example of the theme, and hence the 15 out of 15 score for this one.
Well done, Maria.
Well done, Maria.
Purple Beauty.
Beautiful example of shallow depth of field. You've made sure that the center of the flowers and all that is bright and yellow. Everything is sharp where it needs to be sharp, and then it just fades off on the ends. That works really well. So I think from that perspective, you've met the criteria. The saturation, however, feels a little bit push too hard for me. I would actually bring that down and make it a bit more natural, and I think you can get a lot more out of this, but I did give you your point.
14 COM vir van aangesig tot aangesig.
I think I'm a bit too generous, but let's go with it. This is another beautiful example of shallow depth of field, and this works very well with insects and with macro. I love the detail in the place in the eyes. You can never get those stillness and focus because they don't stand still, but it's really beautiful to see this really sharp portion in front, and then it fades off. The one area of improvement would be those very bright white in the back in the flows, both on the left and right. I would actually take that and take that, bring it up a little bit so that your whites are definitely in your highlights, the whites and the highlights. I would look at that and make sure that you take some of that away. A beautiful example.
Another full mark. Blaartjie en die doring.
This is a nice example of simplicity and minimalism. I love the depth of field of only having this little brown, it looks like acacia leaf, and on the floor with a little bit of spider web. It works really well. Well done.
It's a 10 goal for Ricus. New growth.
Sorry, I'm doing this school. Please. Ferns are very interesting to photograph. I think there's a lot of detail in them with the hair and the spur, and you really managed to capture that quite well coming down there on that leaf with, and I think the colors work really well. Green is one of the calm and full colors. I love this picture, it's really nice.
12 goal for Martinez. Pennies op die spoor.
I must say this is something very unique, very different, and it works well. The color scheme, the whole idea of the pennies on the spur, I think it's a perfect match for their theme. I would, however, that very bright spot at the back, just make it a little bit grayer, just take some of the white out. But I love the fading and the focus on the spur and then the fading off as you move past forward. Very good use of depth of field and knowing your camera.
The 13 COM for Michelle. Soul BSc or Cicada.
This is a beautiful example of a cicada. The amount of detail that you've got in the eyes and the hair on the peak. It's beautiful. Love the color scheme. The depth of field is perfect, and this is a well-deserved comp.
Congratulations, Sarah. This is another way of learning at Camera Club because I had no idea that this is how a song BSc looks.
It's just because we haven't got a photo yet.
The little purple flower.
I think if we have a look at the center of the flower, the yellows are nice and sharp. That works. I think you've got a very good feel and technique on the depth of field. I am, however, seeing a little bit of halos on the outside of the petals. So watch out for that when you're doing post-processing between the background and your subject. And the saturation is a little bit too high for me on this one as well. I would actually take it down a bit.
The 10 gold for Annelie. Field mouse.
I must admit, I haven't seen the black field mouse yet, so I need to go and check this one out. Maybe one day. But I think you've managed to capture the mouse quite well. It's nice focus. I can see the little whiskers there, the eyes, and then it tapers off. If I have a look at the depth of field, it feels as though the depth of field is just like 5 centimeters in front of the mouse. And you actually would have liked to have had the whole mouse and both ears in focus as well. So it's the depth of field is on the right distance. However, it just needs to be closer to the mouse.
11 gold for Dave. Lavender food.
Depth of field was handled well here for the theme subject. The bee is nice and sharp. You can see all the hair. Definitely the wings are there. All that detail is there. I would have liked perhaps seen a little bit more in the eye, but I know it's not always possible. I think the challenge with this photo for me is the very bright background that you've got. Which actually distracts from your photo and your main subject. And then the lavender actually feels, if you have it here at the bottom, it's the lighting is obviously too much. And then I think the contrast on your lavender has been pushed too much to actually turn it nearly black instead of the beautiful purple that it should be. But I think those are things that you can actually go and fix and then have a look at this again.
The 10 gold for Anita. Mom, where are you?
I think the zebra detail, I can see a lot of the hair, a lot of detail in the zebra, which is good. However, the colors are not true to nature. I'm seeing hopelessly too much orange there, and as such, it doesn't feel real. I think the depth of field was handled well, but the lights in the eyes have also been lifted too much, which means that you're not having enough depth and texture there. I'm also seeing a little bit of halos here around the eyelashes on the side.
The 10 gold for Linda. Mushroom folds.
This is a beautiful example. I love the colors, muted, something very unique. You can start seeing some of the square and the markings there, and the depth that it creates with the shadows and the little folds works really well. The only recommendation I would do is I would cut off a little bit on the right-hand side and just move it across. But this was really well thought through and technically a very good photo.
COM for Deirdre. Op my drager.
The smile of this little girl, you can, she's having a lot of fun on that tracker. Depth of field, I think you've managed to contain that very well, and you've really got that half meter that you need right at the right place with her. What I would have liked to have seen is actually, it would have been great if the smile is not being cut off, and then the very bright in the background actually detracts off your photo. So definitely you can go, this is the manipulate area, you should go and just change that.
The silver, Satellite Road.
I think this is really a beautiful shot. I love the leading lines and the bicycle on the left-hand side with the road going out to the right. I think the leading lines work really well here. I like the mono conversion. The black on the bikes look a little bit too much. I would just actually have a look at the contrast there, or perhaps dropping the blacks a little bit. The one thing I would change would be the obelisk in the middle. I think the road's already there, it's leading you there with telling you what's happening. I don't think that really adds to the photo and things like that I've given you. Okay, there we go. Give me your comment.
Shallow depths of field.
Oh, Ateliers are such unique birds. I love it. And if you have a look at how old they get and how long it takes them to get to their perfect coloring. This is a very beautiful specimen. And I think what you've managed to get done here is to get the beautiful blacks and the detail in the blacks and the browns and the red browns and then the red. Even the eye and everything is spin sharp. Love the depth of field here. I must say in all honesty, because the bird is black, the very bright background works perfectly, and congratulations with your call.
Well done, Jeanette. Stone wall.
I think this is a good idea of having a look and saying, I've got something in focus and then it tapers off. Unfortunately, the photo field's very noisy, and with the highlights in the grass and the very bright highlights in the bricks or stones, it actually distracts from the photo itself. I definitely think that dodging and burning that, actually you could have had a much better effect. And this is one of those photos that I think might actually work better in mono as well.
So silver, wildflowers,
the magic of thread, and this just works very well. I've seen the appropriate depth of field, a lot of detail on the flowers, which is beautiful. That works really well. I'm seeing now that the depth of field doesn't quite cover the third flower. I think it would have been great if it covered the third flower. I think it would have given you the perfect island on the depth of field. But as it stands, well done. However, I'm seeing a little bit of colors and whites in the back flower down at the bottom. So I'll definitely have a look at fixing that, as well as the very white at the bottom of the flower in front as well.
12 gold for one. Into the wind.
Three-handed zebras usually make very interesting subjects because the black and white with the green or different colored backgrounds. I'm actually struggling a little bit with this photo because I'm not really seeing the eye 100% in focus. And I think from a psychological effect, if we see an animal or something, we definitely want the eye in focus so we can actually have got something to focus on. So I think your focus point might have been just off a little bit. So definitely, I think that's the problem with this photo.
Okay, so that was a 10 gold for Patricia or Patty. Nature's calm.
If we have a look, I think you can see here, definitely the front of beads are 100% in focus with roots full, and then it tapers off quite quickly. The photo, however, is very bright, and I think at least 2-3 stops could be taken down here. I would also most probably look at cutting off the very white pieces at the top as well as on the right hand side. That's a silver. Nightmares. Beautiful example of the scorpion in the UV line. You can actually see 3 of the eyes nicely in focus, the hair on the claws are nicely in focus, and it's not a nice experience actually photographing these things in the dark, and you can only see this very bright UV scorpion waiting out there, but well done. That's a 13 COM for Thielman. Unbuttoned. This is very original. I mean, the depth of field very quickly tapers off. You can actually read the writing on the button itself, and just see some of the stitches, and then the zipping, everything is out of focus. The way that you position your composition, the coloring, the saturation, everything is very nice. Congratulations. Thank you kindly. That's a 13 COM for me. Dandelion glow. And glow is in not the color.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful photo. Love the idea of the dandelion and then the pieces moving off. The way that they've been positioned and everything works really well. I must admit I was thinking about giving it a high score, but the saturation actually feels off both on the dandelion as well as the background. So on this one, I'm going to recommend that you change the blue. The blue is too navy blue. You need to change it to a sky color, and this photo will do even better. Enter it into a salon. That is our last photo. If you don't mind, I'm just gonna. Kan ik nou weer?
Dat is dan het beeld.
Gaan we studeren wie is er dan van de
Van functie
view, into photos,
so je kan.
the 15s. Okay, so we have 250 images that you can choose from. It is this one. Sorry, Pink Prettier in van aangezicht tot aangezicht. Who the winner? The Prettier. Well done, Maria, on the list. And we shall have a 15-minute break now.
Nou kan je dat niet zeggen. Dat is fijn.
Waarom schrijf je dan Mike of die luidspreker niet die kant van het project?
Ja.
Dit is
Ik ga
niet,
het tegen de punt kwijt. Ik wil niet terug
ja, dit is niet die assail.
Wil jy iets sê? Wil jy nou van gou weer ietsie sê, Rowan? Kom, sit.
Okay, ek sit.
Dis 'n motor is dit.
Ja, ek dink dit is blind.
I just want to say something on the committee point and the assistants. Our new member Teresa brought her son tonight, Corneille, and he's joining us as a junior from next month. That's Corneille, yeah. And he's going to be Maureen's assistant for projection because he's an IT. Welcome, Corneille.
He might just take over the role.
Okay, let's continue. We are starting with the altered reality category.
I'm not taking my clothes off again.
Fraser. We ran out of signals, dude. Please keep your clothes on. Okay, this,
Kom ek volgens 'n sekonde?
Are you okay? There you go.
okay, altered reality, burning hand. This is a 5-star honors.
This is a very unusual photo. The flame coming from the hand, and it's one of the photos that I think you can actually see a lot of symbolism there. Because you can actually think, there's so many people who are arthritis and all kinds of illnesses, and they will tell you that their hands are burning. And that's the first thing I think of when I see this. The only thing that I would do to improve the photo is seeing some really white spots on the hand itself there. So I would definitely have a look and just move those, get rid of those white spots over there. But well thought through, and I think the overall effect works.
The 12 gold for Martinez. Entangled in time.
Okay, I've been doing quite a bit of judging across several clubs the last 2 months. So I've seen a couple of these photos, and I need to congratulate the photographer because this is the best one I've seen today. And it's not just the time warp. The one big thing that, if we have a look at these type of images, is that his face is painted white. And most of them here in the neck, you will see some normal skin colors and normal skin hands. This is the first photo where I actually see that the saturation has been taken out of the hands and they've been whitened. So well done. Best one I've seen today. The only thing is that his right hand is a little bit grey. You need to get it a little bit closer to the color. Not quite, but a little bit closer to the color of the right hand. But really well executed. Very nice image.
The 13th here.
Well done, Belinda.
Man on the Moon, 5-star honors.
Okay. I actually like night sky, I like moon photos. For me, it provides a completely different world. I do read up quite a lot about the night sky and everything, and I like this concept. And immediately I'm just hearing this song, Man on the Moon. On this photo, however, the light on your different components are not right. They're not in sync. And that is withdrawing, is actually a big challenge for me on this photo. On the parachute, it looks as though the light is coming from this direction on there. Okay. Then, if that's the case, I would expect more light on the bulb of the moon there, which is not there. That's in shadow. And then if you see the altered moon down here at the bottom, the very bright side is on the back of that moon, and it's too bright. Okay, the man there in the parachute should be your main focus, and that should be the brightest part of your photo. I like the concept, and I want this author to go and actually redo this photo and go and fix it, because I think this can do very well on the concept works. The one other thing, so apart from the light, I want you to have a look at is that in our night sky, we associate the moon and our night sky typically with cold colors. So that is blue, green, and the warmest color you can go is purple. The orange here does not work. I would suggest that you go with blues and greens with a little bit of purple, unless you change the moon to Saturn, but then you're going to have a problem with getting a photo.
And that's 11 goals for Annalene. The path may be steep, but the end is worth it. Still 5-star on it.
This is an exceptional photo. I have a look at the layers of the clouds and the steam and everything going to the front. I am counting several layers. It's actually got a 3D effect that's great, and a lot of depth in this photo. I love the concept of the suitcases and being on this journey going there. This old gentleman on his way there. Just like we all have got a journey that we're going that's coming to an end. I think that the composite is really exceptional, and I can't believe that it's the 3rd full marks for the evening. Well done, Michelle.
Life is a journey and only you hold the key.
Okay, let's have a look at what works really well in this composite. I think the monochrome conversion worked really well. You don't necessarily need to see the face, that works. I like the fact that I can see the key and she's moving towards the door. The areas that I think could have been better is, first of all, the light on the left-hand side. Symbolically, that's behind it. So it's not really back to the door or the future. Okay, I think it would have been much stronger if that light was on the right-hand side, close to the door, and that you're actually moving towards, because your message is about her and that key going through the door. I think that would have been a lot stronger. The other thing is, if I have a look at the layers in this composite, the door is very much in the same depth of field as your background. I actually would make the door a little bit sharper, a little bit more in focus, that's another layer before you get to the back. So it shouldn't be as sharp as what this layer is, and it shouldn't be as out of focus as your background. But the mono conversion is really great. I like the concept. I think this needs a little bit more work though.
That's a 10 gold for Michelle. The strange lady in sunflower fields.
A flowers field.
5-star on it.
Very unusual with the sunflowers. So many people I know this is their most favorite flower. Usually associated with bright happiness. It just works really well. This is a different slant on it, and the way that you've put the composite together with the sunflowers, the sky, the birds, the background, this was really well done. I like the fact that she's red. The color schemes, everything is in the same tone range and in the background, the same color palette. And then you have got this strange lady here in the middle. So I think it works really well. The one thing I might change is actually the color of the hair. I'll actually make it black or desaturated. But I think this is different. I think your message is coming across, and I like the fact of the leading line with the sunflowers, and it looks as though the sunflowers are actually looking at her. It works.
The 13 COM for Annelie. Spiral Within, 5-star.
I love the focus point and that the eyes are sharp and you can see that face clearly. It's actually got a different feel with the way that you've actually used the technique and the lines going out. For me, that works really well and actually pulls you into that face and into that eye, that set of eyes. So I think that works. The one thing that I would change, however, is that I think the bottom of your photo is too wide. I would actually bring in a little bit more of, I presume it's a silver plate, and actually bring that out to about halfway down at the bottom. I think that will make your focus point a lot stronger. But I have given you your compliment.
It says 13 COM for Deirdre. We're moving over to Nature. This one's called Nature and it's a 1-star.
Okay, I think Nature is most probably the strictest category because we expect that technically your photo needs to be very well done. And then we have a look at the impact with all the other nice stuff. Here, the focus point doesn't feel as though it's really on the giraffe. It feels as though it's somewhere off there on the left-hand side on the crease there. So your giraffes, unfortunately, is not in focus. So I don't think you meet the criteria of Nature photo. And the fact that the horizon is not level is a big distracting point. I actually feel bad to say there's still 1-star, but I think you have got a really great eye for the unusual. You do not see giraffes lying down often. So I think you've photographed in the right place. We need to just have a look at what the challenge is, why you are not 100% in focus, whether it's a focus point or whether it's the fact that your speed and f-stop's not correct. So we definitely need to see how can we help you to make sure that we can fix that, because your eye for the unusual and for the photo is already there.
My question is, if they were to turn that horizontal line, then the giraffe was on a light sheet. So I think that was on a copy or on a new one.
It might be, but then don't put it in Nature. Sorry.
Doesn't understand.
Yes. No, sorry. But the thing is, you typically don't see this. So this is, I mean, I spend a lot of time in the bush, and I think I've seen it twice in my life. And it's beautiful, but here it's just wrong. It doesn't fit.
Okay, that's a silver. New Life. Still a 1-star.
Love this color palette with the blues and the greens and the yellows. I think it works really well. It's really the start of new life. You can see the new life coming out of this very cold, freezing environment around it. So for me, that works. I would, however, crop it a little bit on the right-hand side. And I think, you know, sometimes a lot of people is not in favor of a square crop, but something like this would work really well in a square crop. So try that and see if that works.
11 gold for Louis S. The Lookout.
I need help. Is it little Hohakis on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, just want to confirm that. Thanks for it.
You're welcome.
Okay, so if we have a look at this little bird, I think it's very nice that it's isolated from the background around it. Unfortunately, there's not enough detail in the blacks, and there's just no detail there. So definitely have a look and see whether from a post-processing perspective you could actually lift that up. I think it's also just the amount of light and the challenges for the black there is definitely a bit of a problem. If we have a look at the pure definition and what they're looking for in a nature photo, I think the subject is too small in your overall photo. So we definitely crop it much tighter and maybe even have a look at a portraiture crop for this.
That's a smoother. Just to point it out for you, that's the marks I was referring to earlier.
Oh, thank you. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Sorry, I'm just. There we go.
Canadian geese, 3-star.
Okay, magic of 3, that works. I think you've managed your island of focus very well, and definitely all 3 feels as though they're in focus, even though the last one might be at the top, might be tapering off, so that works. The whites are feeling a little bit burnt out, so perhaps just having a look at that could improve the photo.
That's a 12 gold for Anglo-Deer. Charlotte's Web.
Very interesting spider with web here. Love the way that the light was really just catching the web here and there and creating an appeal for the natural habitat of the spider. If we have a look at the spider itself, there are definitely components that are in focus with hairs, and you can see that. Not the whole spider is in focus. It doesn't quite have the feel of a macro, but it also doesn't have a feel of a normal lens photo that's being taken. But I think this is well spotted, and I think it's something a little bit different.
11 gold for Anglo-Deer. 6736.
This bird is nice and focused. The amount of detail that you can see in the feathers are really exceptional. It's not always easy to catch the whites in the flowers with the greys, the eyes, and the beak. Very nice and focused. However, the photo feels very flat. So I would definitely have a look at whether, and I know it's just the weather sometimes play where the weather doesn't play along. So I have a look at seeing whether you can push up the vibrancy and the saturation. But I think that this photo will work very well in mono as well. And just perhaps cropping a little bit on the left-hand side and at the top would also make this image much stronger. But a beautiful sharp specimen.
12 gold for Stefan. I know my narwhal is no off.
I must admit they can be very noisy. I don't know whether they're the worst or the hardy-dos. So usually they're not on my favorite list when I'm out in nature because they tend to be very noisy and chase the other animals away. But I think you've managed to take a beautiful shot of this Egyptian geese. The amount of detail that you've got there, post-processing with the bird itself versus the background, technically exceptionally well managed. So even though it's not one of my favorite animals, beautiful shot.
The 13 COM for Frank. We are on 4-star for the past 2 photos already. Hyena Mom.
This hyena, I think you've managed to isolate it quite well from the noisy background that it's on the dirt, whether it's a dirt road or just a piece of dirt, so I think that was done really well. However, the contrast on this animal looks out and the blacks are way too black, especially with the white brown. I would actually have a look and just change that a little bit and darken the background a bit and lighten my animal a bit more. And it's more so the legs and the face than anything else. You can also not see a lot of detail in the eye. And that's something that, without breaking any of the rules, just lightening it a little bit there can make a big difference in the impact of your photo.
The silver. Boomerang. 5-star honors.
Beautiful. The amount of detail that you've managed to get in those feathers. They're not always easy to photograph depending on the time of day, but I think you've really managed to show all that detail there. The head is nice and sharp. Maybe you would have just lightened the body a little bit because I see that there's a detail disappearing there, and I've also darkened the branch a little bit. It's a little bit too bright. I know you can't do anything about these little pieces at the bottom and on the side. It's the natural environment of the bird. However, I do feel that the bird is cropped a bit too tight both at the top and at the bottom. So just give a little bit more space for birds, and they need a bit more space.
The 12 gold for Martinez. Roy Nalde Koker, 5-star honors.
I think this was really well captured. The focus in the front of the Nalde Koker is really working well. The only way you can get more out of this is by doing the stacking. So I think the reason why I've actually scored it so high is that it's the first time I'm seeing one with the serrated mandilas really showing in a photo quite well. Typically, you do not see that. So that, I think, is quite unique. I haven't seen that before. The photo on this side is definitely, the body is definitely too dark, so I would definitely have a look at lightening that just a little bit. But really like the way that the composition works well and the depth of fields works well. But however, I would suggest that you just go and change that a little bit. Well done.
The 13 COM for Lucas. Oh my goodness. Augie Boggy. I think. Nee? Hulle beklei, okay?
Mock fighting or kung fu fighting. I think you've managed to really get a lot of detail out of the hair there and the teeth and all of that. However, I do not see the same focus on the eyes. Okay, and so it actually plays around with you, and you actually would like to see the eyes in focus. Maybe putting a little bit of additional contrast and putting a little bit of extra depth there could actually improve that.
but I love the panel shot. I think this works. It's a 10 gold for Linda. Color Lion, 5-star. Okay, I think this lion's name should be good. His hair is a lot curlier than what we typically see on the lions, and that's quite unique. I really like the way that he's looking back. The composition is very nice. The detail that you see in the eyes, the face, the whiskers, that works really well. However, this photo has got a feel that it's got a vignette around it. Okay. So I must say that I think that this will be a problem if you enter it into salon. They will most probably ask for a wall for this photo. I must say I would most probably rather put this photo into portraiture or animal portraiture or open category because of that. I cannot say that it has been vignette, but it feels like one. But I would do a bit of dodge and burning on the line as well. But it's a beautiful shot of the line. Take gold for Jeanette. Defensive swallow, still 5-star. Beautiful shot of the swallow. I love the fact that his mouth is open. You can see that detail. The lights are working really well up to the top right-hand corner. A lot of details in the feather. Given it a very high mark because of all the composition and the way that you've caught this, even though it's just a little bit on a stocky. Which gave you a CON wrong. Juvenile Malachite Kingfisher. 5-star. Malachites are beautiful little birds. I like the composition and the way that you put the little red feet diagonally going down from the left to the bottom. For me, the feathers are not looking 100%. I'm not seeing enough depth in those feathers and enough detail in the feathers. Some of the whites are washed out there. And then there's not enough detail in the eye. I would think that from a post-processing perspective, I would suggest that you actually go and have a look and see whether you can address that. And then as well on the right-hand side, that branch there, I know it's part of their natural habitat, but it's very bright. I would just darken that a little bit. So 10 gold for Dave. Egret in flight, 5-star. Okay, it's actually wonderful to see that the birds in flight, that they're not always easy to catch in flight. I think the big challenge on this photo is that the whites on the bird on the wings are completely washed out. So definitely feeling as though the exposure is hopelessly out. And then the eye is unnaturally bright. I would take the saturation down just a tad so that it looks more natural. But I think it's great that you managed to put it in flight. It's just the whites and the eye that need some correcting. The silver. Another egret in flight. 5-star, not the same author. Okay, beautiful example of this egret in flight. I love the shape of those wings. You can see all the details of the wings, beautiful separation with the background. And even though the one leg's in shadow, you can see all the detail there. Beautiful focus and color in the eye and the beak. This works really well, and that little wing that's standing up there on the right-hand side is just giving that extra little bit of detail there. It's a 13 CON for one. The Watcher. One star. One star.
Would you like to rescore?
Sorry. Sorry, it didn't show me, but I know it's definitely a one star.
The hawkbills are interesting birds. They can be so noisy out there, but it's very interesting to see the interaction between them. And they've actually got a odd shape with a beak and the eyes. They most of the times look angry to me. I think you've actually managed to capture this bird in a beautiful pose where he's sitting there. I'm seeing quite a bit of detail in the feathers. For me, it just feels as though the focus is not 100% in where it needs to be on the eyes. So, as I've mentioned, with animals, we typically would like to see the eye in focus. It feels as though it's just a little bit off. And as a one star, I think we just need to make sure that we help you with focus point and your settings because the composition is great. I think you've got all of that right. It's just the focus that are not quite where it needs to be.
And if you don't mind, I'm just going to add something. So there are some spots on the image at the bottom where the
Yes, I did see that the dust spots, and that is a big no-no. Sorry, thanks, Marie. Because if you have a look there, that just looks like a very tardy photographer. So yes, I know when we're out there, and it's also there at the tail, when we're out, we're going to change our lenses, things do get dirty, but you are allowed to remove it, so please make sure that you do border patrol and you have a look at your dust spots and remove that as well.
It's just because it's editable that I want
It's
to
easy,
mention. Okay, that's just a gold for Teresa. 3 ducks in a row.
Okay, it's actually nice to see the 3 ducks. Makes a nice composition from that perspective. I think the reflection in the water works well. It's not just grey. I'm seeing some nice blue there, so that works well. The big problem for me here is that I'm not seeing one of the 3 ducks in focus. As I've mentioned before, from a technical perspective, we are expecting you to have top technical standards for nature. So unfortunately, I have given this low score because of the fact that I'm not seeing any of the ducks.
Just before I go ahead, this is a 3-star. The score still stands. Still stands.
Correct. So let me just be clear, okay? Whether you're a 1 star, whether you're a 5 star, when it comes to nature, we expect you to have your photo in focus unless you're doing something else, that something needs to be in focus.
Lovely. You are dessert. Yummy. 3-star.
Okay. As a 3-star, I have given you an extra point here. It's very unusual to see a lion on an elephant carcass. Okay, so seeing that, it's unusual. I love the fact that the lion's eye is sharp. Yes, there's a lot of crap here in front and a lot of stuff that slides and everything, but I think you've really managed to capture in very difficult circumstances the best that you could out of this shot. So that's well done. Now, overall, the photo is feeling definitely too light for me. You need to go and have a look at that and you need to pull that down. It's not just the line, it's the background. And then I would go and take the background just a little bit down as well, an extra bit. I would also go and dodge and burn the line a little bit. In all honesty, I would most probably cut this photo on the left-hand side. I know you want to make sure that you can show everything. But the area that's in focus is that eye on the carcass. So
actually doing a title crop in this case, I think would work very well. And I love the fact to see this on the elephant carcass.
So 13 COM for Tilman. Sunset Park, 3-star.
Love the fact that this one has got its horn. It's not something that we see a lot of these days. Most of them is being dehorned. So yes, I love the fact that it's the full horn is visible on this one. I was probably would crop the front white piece out here and make it a very thin level of focus up front. I think you've managed to do great separation with your background, so that works well. The colours in this case, with the orange dust, is great. I think your rhino is a little bit dark, but in this case I understand why it is, so I would not change that, that's fine. Another little curl that's all, the little tail that's all curled up, that works. I would also crop it at the bottom. At the top and take that white piece at the top. It's not adding to your photo or the story is about this rhino with this beautiful horn in this bright orange dust storm. So I would definitely crop at the top and at the bottom, and maybe just a tad there. But this is a beautiful image. I really do like it. It's nice to see.
Do you really like that you got a 14 COM, Tilman?
Well done, Tilman.
Driving partner. 3-star.
It's like the 3-stars are making it difficult tonight.
I see you.
Yeah.
What's this?
Okay, it's beautiful to see these little bee eaters. It's unusual to see them during the shared meal here. So for me, it's the first time I've seen something like this, and I love the separation with the background. It just works really, really well. I was considering giving it full marks. I've not given it full marks. It feels as though the little bee eater on the left-hand side is just a tad over-processed, okay? And it might just be because of the situation, but that one feels more processed than the one on the right. But this is a beautiful shot. Congratulations. I've given you your comment.
14 COM. That's it for nature.
I think you all going to win the juniors this year.
Watch this space.
Just watch this space. I was thinking of something else to say, but okay. We are starting on 1-star. Your category is pictorial. This one is called Hooked on Ice.
This is different, and if you see so many photos, seeing something different, it's got impact on its own. I actually like this very black standing out with the ice and everything. The movement that you can see here, the story that it's telling, it's unusual, and there's enough detail here where you need to see it, so that works for me. In the background, that very white portion there, however, I feel detracts. Remember, the brain and the eye goes to the brightest part of the photo. So even though your focus point is there, automatically, the next thing you're going to have a look at is the top there. So I would definitely have a look and actually change that. But very nice photo.
It's 11 gold for Louis. Deadly Roses, 2-star.
So I'm actually struggling with this photo, and I think the thing is because the vibrancy of the roses, And I love roses. I want to see them alive. But you know what? It actually works because everything is not just always the glass half full. Sometimes, yes, they do die and it is half empty. I love the way that you've actually handled the background, the way that you've done the lighting on it and everything, the detail, and I'm not seeing any errors in the way that you've treated it from a technical perspective. Well done. 11 gold for Natasha. Waterfall.
2.
With something like this, and you have a look at the waterfall and the levels and the depth of field that you need to use with your f-stop and the camera, I think this was a really well handled. So I'm seeing enough detail and it feels as though most of the photo is in focus. Whether I'm focusing here on the rocks and the grass in front, all the way to the waterfall being in the back. The leading lines work really well, and you go the zigzag up there. The rocks on the left-hand side feels a little bit bright. I would actually burn that a little bit and make sure that you focus even more on that lovely waterfall there. But well done. 11 gold for Natasha. Spiral petals, still 2 star. Okay, if I have a look at this photo, and then I have a look at the depth of field, it feels as though the middle is 100% in focus, which is beautiful. I can actually see the pollen and that there. I can feel the hairiness, that works very well. But it tapers off very, very quickly. If this is the only depth that I'm going to take the photo, I would like to see everything in focus. So I would definitely move my f-stop up high as I can to ensure that I get enough detail. But I think that the crop that you've used, the composition that you've used, great eye, excellent job with that. I just would have liked to have seen more detail. The 10 gold for Natasha. House rules reversed. 3. Unusual words, and this makes you think. Upside down house. I love the colours of the house, the burnt orange, the reds, the green, the blue, and the fact that the roof is actually upside down with the sun works very well in this case. Even the doggy there in the doggy house. The white, however, on the windows and at the edges is actually washed out, so I would definitely have a look at bringing that down. But I think this is well captured and unusual. 11 gold for Andre Cleared. Omar's Way, 3 star. Pink, blue, green combination always works really well. I haven't seen one of these ever, but I can just imagine how this was used to make sure that you've got nice, wonderful Buddha Winkies on a Sunday lunch. I would, however, have liked to have seen a bit more detail here on the right-hand side. There's not enough light there to actually bring the Winkies and the tool itself to its full bright. And I think the bright background at the top doesn't really add to that. So definitely I would have a look at addressing that. 10 gold for Andre Beer. Keeping an eye out. 3 star. Okay. I think
what I do like about this is the colour scheme between the pillars and the little dead bush that it's resting on. I think that complements each other well. However, I think with a background that is so white and grey, and the contrast that's been pushed up so much, I'm not seeing enough detail in the blacks and in the face and in the eye, and at the same time, the beak is actually looking unnatural. So for me, I think that definitely, if I have a look at there down at the bottom, there's just no detail there. There's just not enough detail to appreciate this bird for its full glory. The silver, ripples and feathers, 3-star. I think it's nice to see this Egyptian geese in its natural habitat with the water and all those water droplets on its back. I think the biggest challenge with this photo for me is the fact that the face and the eye is not in focus. I would definitely expect that to be in focus. Go and have a look if you haven't got another photo in your series where you can actually leverage this. The amount of detail that you can get off these birds is phenomenal. But this one, unfortunately, is just too soft. I'm not seeing anything in focus. Silver. Colors in vase. 4-star. Another red and green, circular background with a line. It's not always easy to photograph glass. Okay, I think you have done an exceptional job at making sure that you get the right amount of details without washing anything out. Love the reflection, because everywhere you look, you can actually see some reflection there. So that works well. 2 areas that I'm going to suggest that you watch out for is that the tablecloth that you're in is not adding, and there's a lot of creases in there. Go and take that out. And then also, you're seeing that line over there at the top there I would actually just clean that up as well. I think this photo definitely have got the potential to score much higher. And I love the concept. So 13, COM for Louis Martin. Orange Sunset, 4-star. Backlighting the flowers work really well. This is a perfect example. Nothing is washed out. There's enough detail. Really think this works well. Well done. The 12 gold for Elsa. Can I ask you guys that we clap at the end just to save us some time? We're already on 9:30. So let's just, try to move a bit quicker. I'll try for myself as well. I'm really sorry. It might be taking too long. Okay, next one. Put some with a good lift, 4-star. Love the title, love the fact that both of the birds are in focus. The one in front, the other one really looks as though it's once again had a kick under the butt. Well done. Into your score, please. Well done with your bomb. So 14 for Frank. Ranking point, 5-star honors. Okay, let's talk about this concept. This concept is stunning. The fact that you've got this water going into the face, it looks as though this person is shocked with the water, that works really well. However, there's some post-processing challenges, and I just want to show you out. Then the first is that impact, I would have given it a very high score, but I'm seeing hopelessly too many highlights there, so you need to tone that down. And then here, you need to clean that up as well. please go and do that. And I think that you can do a lot more with this. And this would actually work well in a salon owner section as well.
The 10 gold for Belinda. High tea, 5-star honors.
Not your traditional photo, nice, still life. I like the composition of the pearls with the old-fashioned teacup and the hats and the lace and the books. Very nice, still life photo.
11 gold for Michelle. My Pride colors, 5-star honors.
Beautiful shot of this peacock. Really love the focus portion here, and then actually seeing the eyes of the feathers moving off to the right. This works really well. Congratulations with your poem.
13, CRM finally. Well done. Paula Lily, 5-star.
Beautiful shot of this lily with the glass in the background. The reflection works really well. The color scheme works really well. Border, everything, very nice shot.
12 gold for Ron. Flamingo reflection, 5-star.
This is a beautiful shot of this flamingo with the reflection of the water that you put in and that sky. You know, we talk a lot about the color palette. This is the perfect color palette with the blues and the pinks that really complements the flamingo, and it works really well. Congratulations on your comp.
Jeanette. Oh, so wise, 5-star.
Owls are such interesting birds. Beautiful photo of this owl, seeing a lot of details in the feather. It's nice to see the eyes open. I'm just seeing a little bit of halos on the outside of the bird or the owl, which unfortunately have detracted off your photo.
11 gold for Linda. Scavenger, the end of days.
I think this rendition of the hyena works very well with the amount of detail that you can see in the hair and everything. The broken hair just actually adds to the story. I would have liked to have seen a bit more detail in the eyes. And I think the thing is that this photo, the background actually feels as though the hyena is floating. He is not grounded. And I think to add a shadow or something there, or just a line so that it looks grounded, will definitely add to this photo. The hyena is actually brilliantly done. It just looks out of place with the background.
Then gold for Anita. Anita, just check your title. I don't know if you want it to be To the End of Days or something, but there's a T in there. It's The Sirens of the Sea, 5-star.
Interesting choice of models. Not your traditional, but you know, I actually like the fact because I think in the world these days you always need to be a specific size, it needs to be this, and this is actually going dead set against it. Unlike this voluptuous bodies that's actually telling a story of them having fun out there in the water and the sun and just having a good time. The photo, however, is hopelessly too bright, and it might just be because of their skin tones. So I would definitely have a look at taking that down. And you know what? I think this might actually work in Mona. So definitely have a look at that.
The 10 gold for Anthony. Walk home, Barstow.
Love the leading lines and the road that this couple is walking on. That works very nicely. You can see that they're really enjoying it out there in this cold weather, dressed warmly. This has got a nice moody feel to it because of the colour palette that you've got here. I might have just given a little bit of light on the side here going up there rather than the light. And I know the light is shining there, but just add a little bit here. And I think that would add, but it's a lovely moody photo.
12 gold for Deirdre. Vintage Shows. Barstow.
This is a beautiful model. She's got beautiful skin. It works really well with the jacket. So definitely, I think you've portrayed the best of the model in this case. The one thing that I am going to comment on is that, we talk a lot about, and I'm sure, Fraser, you will cover it when you do the portraiture workshop, but the positioning of the hands and positioning your model. The color of the hands here, it's especially her left hand, is completely untouched with that face and makeup. And it just looks completely unnatural. So please have a look at that and just address that as well. Or position it differently so that it doesn't have this complete north and south color thing on the skin tone.
It's a 12 gold for Fraser. Elephant at Night. Barstow.
Love this shot. I love what you've done with the lighting there on this side. It's creating a lot of detail. I'm seeing a lot of texture there. I think that this is something that could easily hang in a house or in an office. Well done.
13 COM for Jenny. Padlock Alley. Barstow.
Okay, look.
Something very different. I actually like it. I like the focus on the reeds and actually having just that small portion there in focus. But this whole wall or fence is covered in these rocks. So I think that's really nicely taken. The one thing that you need to focus on is that you've got a lot of highlights here on some of these rocks that is distracting. So please go and have a look at that and see what you can do there.
Thank you. 13 gold for Fraser. That was tasty. Barstow.
I think it's a really nice portraiture of this cheetah. I think that you managed to separate the background with the animal nicely. It's nice to see that it's actually doing something a bit different with the tongue. I think the biggest challenge for me on this photo is that the eyes, it just does not feel 100% sharp. And it might just be that it needs a bit more contrast. So go and have a look at it, but it does not feel as though both those eyes are sharp. And if you've got a simple minimalistic view like this, you need to make sure that it's 100%.
10 gold for Linda. Inside Angkor Wat. 3-star.
Different feel, different place. It looks very isolated, and I think that's really what the photographer tried to capture here. Like the detail that you could see in the buildings itself. The sky for me is hopelessly too light and too flat, so I will definitely change that. And then I would dodge and burn this building quite a bit because I think there's a lot more that you can get out of the roof and those little towers in the back and the steps and even the bricks up front. You know, when we have a look at Mono and everything, this is one of the photos that you need to make sure that you do cover 50 shades of grey.
11 gold for Patty. Stone face at dawn, 3-star.
Okay, I love the picture in this statue. That works very well. There is a lot of texture, detail that you can see there. The sky is much better with a blue background. I can see some blues coming out there, but I would actually go and work a little bit more on the background because it's out of sync with your subject. And then I'm seeing a little black spot or something there on the left-hand side. So just have a look at your border control, right?
The 12 gold for Patty. Spring droplets, master, 5-star master.
Sorry.
No problem. It deserves a
So too much in a rush. There we go.
Okay. I love this image. This is very different. I have not seen anything like this. It is minimalistic, but there's so much detail there. I think that this really is a very good photo, and the amount of detail that we see there works really well. I want you just to check because I cannot see whether this is part of the screen or whether that's in your photo. But congratulations with your com, well deserved.
That says 14-0 for Arnold. Ice stones, master silver.
I love how it really looks like the figurine with a little hat and a scarf and a wristband down there. The whites with the blues work well, as well as the smoky effect. I think this is a very good addition. The only thing that I would caution with is that I think this is the 5th one I've seen this last month.
So 13-0 for Arnold. Bumble Beetle, 5-star master silver.
Love the detail on this beetle. That hair and the claws and everything works really well. The amount of detail is phenomenal. The color scheme works really well with the surface and the background. The only thing that I did the back off for was that orange little blob there. It doesn't go with the rest of the color palette. It's too orange, and you need to go and change it to make sure that it goes closer to something like that. But this is a beautiful photo. Please go and change that right-hand corner.
You hear Arnold? 13-0. That's the last one for Victoria. We're going over to photojournalism and starting with 1-star sport.
Big challenge here. I think you've managed to capture the moment. Let's start there. That is so difficult getting that little ball out of that bunker. I love the sand and everything that you managed to capture there. That works really well. So your eyes absolutely spot on to catch that moment. The big challenge here is that the vehicle in the background is more in focus than what the person that's with the golf club is actually. It's definitely is distracting off the photo. But I love the shot. I think you just need to have a look at your focus and then having a look. I think it's definitely also too light. This is silver. Stuck in stillness. 3-star. This is a very nice shot of Harties. I think you've really managed to capture this well. The dark woody clouds in the background and the detail there actually works very well with the green hyacinth and the white birds. I was worried that they might be too light, but they're actually not. I think I'm seeing enough detail there. So nice shot, well done. 11 gold for Outreke. The Organist, 3-star. This photo's got a nice old-fashioned feel to it because of what she's wearing. If I have a look at the papers and the books here on the right-hand side, so it's got a very nice feel to it. But it does feel a little bit staged, which is fine, okay? But if you did set it up, I would have removed the modern binder and make sure that the sun that's coming, or the lights that's coming in here on the right-hand side is extremely bright. So I actually would have corrected that. But I like the feel for this. I think it's very nicely seen. It's just this very bright spot here in the modern book that does not fit in with the rest. But nice storytelling. Then gold for Andrade. Burnout, 4-star. This is definitely one of the better shots that I have seen of being taken there. I think you've really managed to get the detail with the firemen here and the marshals there in the middle with the water spraying over them really well. The photo, however, does feel as though it's a spot too high. Okay, it's very dark conditions, we know it is, and I definitely would have expected these gentlemen, the wardens, to be a lot more darker, even though you have got that tone and colour of the fire there, as well as the lights in the background. So I think you just need to have a look at that because this is quite a nice photo. I think that should be corrected, and then you can do quite well in this in the salon as well. So 12 gold for Louis M. Early morning fishing, 4-star. What a beautiful shot. The color palette in them, with the blues and the orange, and it just works really well. I love the softness of the water here and the spray of the water, the lines and everything in this photo just works really well. I like it. 13 COM for Frank. Ringmaster, 4-star. Okay, I think this photo, I'm really struggling to see enough detail to tell the story of what you have seen. I think that if we have a look at the ringmaster and what usually is associated with it, and I know it's difficult conditions under which you have taken this photo, but I'm not seeing enough detail that I can actually share that moment with you. And that unfortunately is bringing the score for this photo down. That's a silver. Competing for the cup, 5-star honours. In PJ, we usually say about, that moment. You need to make sure that you catch that moment. And I think this photographer has really managed to do that. I love the depth of field here. You've really got the wide island of depth of field here. And I know it's a very difficult sport to photograph. Well done with your comp. 14 COM for Rikus. No Way Back, 5-star honors. Very original. The symbolism here and the story that it's telling, the arrow there, the shadows. I don't need to see detail of that trolley or that person. This is different. I love the diagonal lines. For me, this is unusual, and congratulations with your comment. CIM for Belinda. Guitarist live on stage. 5-star. Sure. It's not easy to take these photos underneath stage lights because they always create all these funny tones. Because of the lack of light, you don't always get the right the right amount of detail that you would like to see. But I think overall, you've actually managed to do a good job here. For me, there's just feels as though there's a little bit of halo effect there in the background, and it might just be the light. So that's something that you need to be aware of. 11 gold for Dave. In the Wild, 5-star. I can see here what the author has seen. They want to capture this moment being out there with a fellow photographer, and really for them, this is what they're out there doing, taking photos of what's happening around them. So I know this means a lot to you, but unfortunately, I do not think that this does this really well in club photography or in salon photography. Because of all the distractions that you've got in this photo. But I know you love the photo, you love the moment that you've taken this, but there's not enough detail in that person in the background is too light to really do it justice. The 10 gold for Deirdre. To Walk or Not, 5-star. Okay, this is very good street photography. Okay, the implied and actually the repetition works well here. Love the fact that you've managed to take this with a light and a button and person walking there. I think that's very well done. I think that technically it was well done. The only thing I could recommend for improving it is actually swapping the two around, putting the focus on the person and doing this out of this. I think that would also potentially be an interesting angle. But I think you've got a very good eye, so go for it, don't cry, Daniel. Thank you. 12 gold for me. I have tried it with the button in focus, and I like this one more.
Is it?
Of the personal choice. Okay, we're moving over to portraiture, starting with this one, named Portrait, 1-star. Okay, here I can see what you were looking at. It's a beautiful, happy photo with this little girl holding the bouquet, the flowers in her hair, and you can see the soft smile. Seen the moment. Unfortunately, the little girl is not 100% in focus, and I'm seeing a little bit too much brightness in the flowers and in the dress on this side. But nice shot. Then gold for Sonet. Alone, 4-star. The colour scheme on this works really well. I think the muted oranges and browns for the background, the hair, it's got a nice free feeling to it. So that works. I think the very bright hands competing with the face here and with her eyes is actually distracting. So it's really not bringing out the best of the model and your main subject. So 10 gold for Louis M. Drama Queen, 4 star. The blue with the white breasts and the brown skin works really well. The makeup on the eyes are very nice. I love the golden color on her face. I would make 2 changes to this photo. I think the first of all is that you see very white, bright lights on both arms, which is actually not the same. And it distracts because it's so white. I would actually either turn it down or just add a little bit of orange in there. And then being a lady, that lip liner is horrible. Please get the owner to change that before you even start with your photos, because that's just not on. 11 gold for Elsa. Rock Duo, 4 star. I think very similar comments to what I've made with the previous stage photo. I think what you have managed to do here really well is the detail and the focus on both the guitars that works. However, you've got all these funny lights on the hairs and stuff that just looks not right. I must say, I think that this will work much better in mono than in this glorious orange and blue. 11 gold for Maria. Transparent Janique, 4 star. This has got a nice soft moody feel to it, which I like. I actually like the layers that you've added to this for the shadows or windows actually being superimposed on her. But the female in body form, it's all about leading lines, and the way that you've handled on the face and the hands and the shoulder and coming back on the back works. However, when you see this block, and I don't know whether it is a shadow or a reflection or what, but that really does not add to your photo. It would have been so nice to see that curve or the back coming down without that being there. 11 gold for Stefan. Tea time, 4 star. Okay, remember this goes into out of the 4 portraiture categories, this goes into the creative, so you have got everything under full control and you are creating this dream world. I think if I have a look at the face, the clothes, the background works perfectly, the teacup and the story that it's telling. I have got a problem with the skin tone on the neck before the clothes and the hands. That does not go with the rest of your story. You're in make-believe world, so go and change those colors. 10 gold for Maria. Tonique High Key, 4 star. Very brave to do a high key. It always takes a moment for the eyes just to adjust, but I think you've done an excellent job on this high key photo. Love the way that she's actually having a hand in the hair with this really messy look. The mouth just a little bit open, it's very provocative. And even the fact that you can see her bust is stretching out and these buttons are stretching around that full bust. It just works really well, and you cannot not but like this photo. The one thing to watch out for is that I'm seeing a very bright white spot there. Yes, I know it's high-key, but please make sure that you address that. But I think technically very well handled. Congratulations. 12 gold for Maria. Lady in red, 5-star honors. Okay, Anzala is a beautiful model. She's got beautiful skin and she's actually very easy to put photograph. She's very pleasing on the eye and she is actually easy to actually make sure that you get the right pose. However, I do not think that this is complementary to Anwar at all. The photo feels very flat. And I don't know whether the saturation has been taken out or because of the maroon colors on top of each other. So that does not work. It does not, it's most probably, it just does not bring the best of Anzal to the foreground. You've also got a very big, you've got some marks in your background right in the middle on top of the head. Looks as though there's something growing out there. So please just make sure that your background, I'm seeing 3 marks there. I hope it's not the screen. Please make sure that you take it out. Then the other thing with Anzal is that our eyes are not the same size. Okay, so taking photos from her from the front, you've got one choice now. Either you take it from the side, or you actually make sure that you've got it's not full frontal, or you need to go and fix it afterwards because it's not looking good and it feels uneasy on your mind. It's a silver. I am Cat, 5-star. Really nice portraiture of this kitty cat. Love the detail in the fur and the whiskers and the eye. It's a lot of detail that you're getting there, and the colors on the cats and the markings work really well. You can see that M on the forehead and the hair in the ears. I would actually change this photo to a square, and because you've got some really nice triangles there, which makes the photo extra interesting with the nose, and then you see that I would actually change this photo to a square and build it a little bit and include that other ear as well. The 11 gold for Anthony. Lady in white, 5-star. Okay, model here actually looks very uncomfortable, and I know some people are not always comfortable being photos being taken from them, but then it's easy for them to just say smile or do something else and then turn and do this. She's holding her arms so tightly there that you can actually see the indentation, and she looks very uncomfortable here. I like the smile, I like the look, there's contact with you. But she just looks so uncomfortable that it doesn't feel right. I think that her feet is also extra white. This might also work better in Mona, but she's a beautiful model. Just get her to look more comfortable and position her so that she's more comfortable. That's a silver. Legacy in the Grass, 5-star. Very nice sepia conversion. I think this is very appropriate, especially now with the latest Rhino Poacher stats that's been released this week. This orphan, as you can see, is still a youngster. Those ears are still pristine. Can't help but fall in love with that sad face. Typically, I would say that the background is a little bit white, but in this case, it proves the focus is on the rhino, and you go there. I would actually cut off a little bit here at the bottom, but very nice shot of baby rhino. 12 gold for Anita. Undamaged, 5-star. Love this survival photo. You cannot have a look at this lady and do not appreciate the life that she has lived, the markings that she has got on her skin. You can see that she has seen and lived through a lot, but she's still got this beautiful big smile. For me, this is a survival photo. She sees herself, even that silly crown there and everything, it's her crown. I love this photo. This is a beautiful story today. It's a 14-0 in for Fraser. Lost in thought, 1 star.
1 star.
I love this photo. You can see the heartbreak in this photo. For me, a face that tells a story, and this is a different story. The previous photo was about survival. In this photo, you can see the heartache, and this is just exceptional for me. It's untouched, unstaged. It works really well. I would like you to fix that white spot at the top, and then also just maybe even crop it a little bit so it's out, and then the headscarf is a little bit bright here at the neck. But I love the sunken eyes, the story. It works really well. It says, see you in for Teresa. Viking warrior. 5 star. Okay, so this is another creative shot where you are creating this magical environment. I can definitely feel the Norway Viking feel here. Love the salt and pepper look, love the skin, the detail, the setup, everything I think works really well. On this photo, there's 2 things that's bothering me. First of all, that line just directly off the sword for them. So I would just take it out because it looks out of place. The other thing is that if you have a look at how you've done your lighting in this photo, your flash and everything is on the left-hand side. So that eye, as I'm expecting to be the brightest, that is where it looks as though your light is coming from when you have a look at this photo. However, on this side, okay, I am not seeing anything reflecting in that eye, and the skin is too bright. You need to go and darken this side, and this side should be darker than that side. This is a beautiful shot. I just think that you've tried to make sure that you get enough detail out of both sides. Remember, you don't have to have the same amount of light. You actually get a lot more detail and a lot more interest by having a little bit more on the one side than on the other. Please go and change that. Lisa, thank you. 12 gold. We're going over to scapes now. That's our last category for the evening. We have 8 images, starting with this one, 3 star, sailing into the sunset. Very nice shot, calming and yet vibrant with that sky, the catamaran going through. Feels as though there's a bit more noise in the sea on the right-hand side and in the boat versus the sky. But it might just be the time of day. I think you've managed to capture the feel and the mood of this moment really well. So from a landscape perspective, I like the way that you've broken it up, and well done. That's 11 gold for Andre D. Mountain in the Stream, 5 star honours. Okay, quite an unusual photo. It's not a South African shot. I love the colours and the saturation that you've got with the blues, the snow, the yellow and the green there, and the buildings and the autumn leaves and trees on this side. But this is a 5 star, huh? Yeah. 5 star honours on this. Okay. I think the one thing that I had a big problem with is that mark in the water there. Okay, I think there is not anything I can fault with otherwise, but I do expect the 5 star honours to not have any of those clothing areas anywhere.
That was a stick.
Was it a stick?
Yeah.
Then I'm sorry, because let me tell you, it looks like a full circle from where I'm sitting here.
I know.
So please go, at landscape, you can, don't remove it. This photo is an exceptional photo. It will do well. Nicely done. By the dam, 5 star. So I think here the photographer has broken it nicely into three areas of focus. I like the fact that you can see the detail there with the trees and everything in behind the water. I would have liked to have seen a lot more detail in both the sky. I think dodging and burning there can get a lot more details because I am seeing detail there, but just bringing it out a little bit more dramatic. I think the big challenge for me here is the very bright white that I've got here in front. So I would definitely go and address that. Let's confirm the score. Sorry, I forgot to press things. 10 goals for Anthony. Shin Wensi, Dawn Before the Flood, 5 star. Okay, Shin Wensi was one of the cancers that were very heavily impacted by the recent floods. It's very nice to see this photo. I love the detail that you've managed to pull out of the sky and the light there with the color scheme, the trees and the water and the leading lines here work well. I want you to go and have a look because it just feels as though some of the tree on the horizons, I'm feeling a little bit of a halo effect there, and it might just be because of the processing that you've done. But I have given you your score. It's a beautiful shot. Just go and check that out. Okay, that's a 12 gold for Anita. Walker, 5 star. I think this photo is appropriately named. The focus point here is very much the beautiful clouds and that blue sky in there that you've got there. That works well. I must say I would definitely go and dodge and burn those clouds a little bit. Some of the ones are looking a little bit washed out. But so I think you can get a bit more detail out there. I think the way that you've captured the water with the grass and the trees and the leading lines here and the curves there works well. The only way you could have improved it is by being able to have moved up to make sure that that's not sensible. But I think that overall it works. 11 gold for Sarina. Green is the land van Natal. 5 star. Typical KwaZulu-Natal photo. Love the greenery, love the curves and the trees and all the detail that you have got here. I must say that if I have a look 4/5 of this photo, it's getting a lot of detail with leading lines and environment here. The sky, however, on the left-hand side is hopelessly too bright. Doing a linear gradient and actually taking that down, I think would add a lot. I know it's that time of the day, but definitely I have a look. I think that area over there, you can get a lot more detail out there. If I have a look here on the right-hand side, you can see the clouds, the detail there. It's just like very bright there on the left-hand side that I think is a bit of work on. Nice detail depth of field, well handled. 12 gold for Sarina. Romantic sunrise, 5 star. Love the shots. The moodiness here, the slow shutter speed with the soft muted pastel colors. It is just magical. And you can just see these little spots there on the horizon, which I must say there's a lot of details on the rocks. I would take the center rock and actually just lighten the shadow a little bit. It feels like a heavy weight in the middle of the photo, so I would lighten that. And congratulations with your com, very nice photo. 14 COM for me, thank you. Nature's Mirror, 1 star. This is really well done for a 1 star. I must say that I, for the leading line going into with the water, making sure that you've got the frame with the trees and the grass, that works. I would actually have a look at the highlights that I've got in my grass here on the right hand and in the back, and just bring that down a little bit. And then I would also have a look at upping some of my shadows and everything. But I think the composite of the line works well in this case. Thank you. That's 11 gold for Teresa. That was the last image for the evening, so now we just need to decide on the best of each grade, and I might just have to go meet some assistants.
So just select none, none square. Calculate and then the 11s. Okay.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 images that received a 11.
Yeah. Well, okay.
So, New Life, Booked on Ice, Inside Angkor Wat, Nature's Mirror, and Score Away. You ignore this one, it's a theme. So it's between Nature's Mirror, Inside Angkor Wat, Booked on Ice, New Life. Book on Ice. Great. Well done, Louis Schneider.
Three, it's an ass, based on square. Okay. And add, then, 2 stars, anything. Value,
there's 2 photos that scored an 11 on a 2-star. Deadly River.
But I know already have. And
Ja.
and it is made to a star. And have your filter. Calculate distribution.
Okay, Deadly Roses. Waterfall. This one shouldn't be there, so it's only these 2. Waterfall or Deadly Roses? Waterfall. Well done, Natasha. And for 3-star, Canadian Geese. Stone Face at Dawn. That's the 2. Stone Face at Dawn. Well done, Patty.
Weet jy wat se probleem? Sy star level wys nie. 3-star.
Okay, sorry, there's COMs that you've handed out on 3-star level, but because the grade levels didn't pull through, they're not showing the images. You just quickly go through this. Okay. Do you want us to start again for you? No, it's only on the 3-star. Just want to see.
Let's see again.
Nee,
Dis die primary star levels, ons kry.
hy is nie geclassified as stadig.
Ja, Tielman, kan jy asseblief gou na my toe kom as jy nog nie is? Wat is jou images se naam?
The next is in Jutin.
Sê weer?
No election.
Allemaal in nature, okay, dit kan ons self. Ja, dessert. Ek wil nou net verwijs.
That's right, that's fine.
Hoe hy was, okay. En nooit weer. Okay, so these were the COMs that you received for the 3-star. The 2 little B, this one. What was
Dit is wat ons saam
Sorry about that, I don't know what went wrong in the uploading of the images, but
kan nie feelings dit aan wat hulle nou doen.
3-star. Yeah, you gave two images, and this one does include the theme. So this is the 4-star that received a full 15. But this was all the
Ja,
other.
dat is ook het thema. Daarom moet die code na 14 15 in 14. En de foto van de
Okay.
eerste, het doen, die webfoto. En dan kijk je net niet perfect.
Hey, you know, that's
En dan los je hulle net, ja, dan kies je
Okay, this is 4-star, fits up with the boot lift. And that is the 14. A purple beauty, but that's a theme.
That's it, yeah, so there's 114.
So, can I say that's the best of? I'm happy for you to do it. Thank you.
Dus dat is maar net niet.
Mm. Okay, ek gaan nou die
Al die dingen is jy,
Okay, there's 5 stars, I'm going now based on 5 star. This is 14 for Jeanette, undamaged for Fraser, and you can choose between these two. So undamaged and flamingo reflection.
Flamingo reflection.
Well done, Jeanette, based on 5 star. And now,
kan die naaste en die H soms.
and based on 5 star winners, there's only 115. The path may be steep, but the end is worth it.
I think this is absolutely awesome.
Thank you. Now we just need to choose a base of junior.
Ja, nee. Alles die kies je net.
And this is the best of, yeah, really, this.
Ja, 3 star, dat is 3 star.
Oh, that's okay. Best of 3 star, best of 1 star, and best of 2 star. It'll be easy. Well done, Gilman. Best of juniors.
Ja, die is beneden. Ja. En,
No, it's okay.
die moet maar wel iets. Zo staan. Dat is het.
And the best of 3 because it was a senior. Okay, please choose a winner out of these. For the best of senior, the path may be steep. Puts up like a boot lift. Flamingo reflection. The theme is new early.
And Ibera.
Sorry. Okay. So those 3 memory. These 4. So best of theme is also included because it's a senior. Okay, just go through them again. Think criteria. Flamingo reflection. Foots up with a boot lift. The path may be steep. The path may be steep. Well done, Michelle, best of senior. And can we now choose the best of the evening between the best of
Junior.
Okay, it's either the path may be steep or driving partner. This is difficult because I think it's very different categories. But I think it should be the path may be steep. Well done, Michelle, best of the best. And that completes the evening, Belinda.
Ja, baie challenges gehad met die system, maar dit is nog vir niemand verkeerd gemaakt.
Thank you everybody for being here tonight and for staying so long. Sorry the night was so long, but from next month on it would be smooth sailing. Drive safely, please. Thank you very much, Mariana. Thank you very, very much for being here tonight.
Baie dankie.